Welcome to the Rules of Engagement, guys. As always, I'll be your host, Nick axslav Ranish, and today we're going to go over the Soulkey vs. Last series you saw yesterday at 5 p.m. Eastern on this channel. Of course, if you didn't see yesterday, go to youtube.com/officialmlgsc2 and check it out because it's a pretty awesome series. But today we're going to take a look at 3 of those games from that series. First, we're going to take a look at game number 2. Then we're going to take a look at game number 3, then game number 4, and then we're going to go over a series overview and a viewer Q&A. So first, let's jump into game number 2 on Ohana. There's a couple things that I want to point out to you guys what happened in game number 2 that are pretty cool to take a look at and analyze. The first one's going to be Reaper openings in Terran vs. Zerg. Take a look at how those work. Then we're going to take a look at how you can transition into mech from said Reaper opening. And of course, if you're making Reapers, they're not so good against roaches. Transitioning into mech takes time because factories are expensive. So how can you defend early roach aggression while you're doing all this? It can be a little bit tricky. So let's jump into the game here and talk about the Reaper opening. The one cool thing here is he proxies the barracks. And notice you do not need an add-on to build Reapers anymore. This is new in Heart of the Swarm. It's a pretty cool little feature. And the proxy barracks, he can proxy it because he doesn't plan on using the barracks as the game goes on very often because he's going to transition to mech. So he can use it as a scout or as a placeholder, and the Reaper gets his opponent's base very, very quickly. Now the goal of this Reaper opening is couple-fold. One thing is you want to get a couple drone kills, which you can pretty much always get. Like, the Reaper is so fast, you can run circles around drones, circles around Zerglings, circles around Queens. You should get at least 2 drone kills. It looks like that's all he's going to get right now. Maybe he'll try to get that third a little bit later. But you want to get a couple drone kills, force as many Zerglings as possible, and then the other goal is to delay the Zerg's third base. Forcing them to make these slow Zerglings and getting kills actually already does that. You've already delayed their base because they can't get that third, or they can't benefit from that third unless they have a decent economy. So any economic damage you do delays that third base as well. Not to mention the fact that if you have Reapers present, even if they have the Queens that can defend from one angle, Reapers can threaten to come up from multiple angles. And so that delays the third base as well because they don't have enough units to protect themselves from all those different angles. So, and of course the last thing is you do want to get scouting intelligence. It's very important to know what the Zerg player is up to. If they're getting roaches very early, if they're getting a lot of speedlings, banelings, etc. So you definitely want to know if they're getting gas or not. And if so, you know, what type of threat might be coming out of that gas at you. So always keep those Reapers present. He already did a loop around the main base, saw there was no early gas, so he knows there's no threat super early in the game, so he's free to run around, get a couple kills with these Reapers while I still can. Now let's talk about how you can transition to mech behind the Reaper build. So as we saw, you expand directly after the Reapers, and then of course you add an extra gas, you get a factory, a third CC. Feel free to grab a very fast third CC, as long as in your factory, when it comes up, you get a couple Widow Mines. And the reason you want to do this is because the Reapers are scouting to know there's no threat, and the Widow Mines will kill any small threat. Of course, if it's mass roaches, what you do is you just keep getting Widow Mines. It's pretty simple. You just always get those Widow Mines against roaches. Just keep getting more of them. And also against roaches, you'd want to get a bunker. And you can put the Reapers in a bunker, and that will help you take out small numbers of roaches. The roaches clump up to get rid of the bunker. The Widow Mines can take them out. Constant Widow Mine production can make you safe versus just about anything. One cool trick I'm going to show you guys. You can also use the Widow Mines. You have no anti-air. So their Overlord Scout, you can just send the 2 Widow Mines there. Blow that guy up because he's too slow to run away. Why not? The cooldown comes up, and they'll be ready to do more action when you get it back in the fight. Then, of course, you want to park the Widow Mines up close to the base to help contain them and delay that third base even longer. Prevent that creep from spreading. So many utensils early in the game. Now, you want to grab that very fast third CC. You notice he already has that. And one of the cool things about it is because triple mules, you have such insane economy. If we look here, I mean, right now he actually doesn't have... He has 1 mule down, but the economy will skyrocket as he drops some more mules. So, if you have all that mineral income, but your gas income is going to be the same as it was before, you can use that mineral income to make a lot of Hellbats because they only cost minerals. So go ahead and start producing those Hellbats as soon as the armory is done. If you don't feel you need that many Widow Mines to defend, you can start producing Hellions earlier and then transform into Hellbats later on. So Hellbats are a great choice because they combine high mineral costs with high stats. And you have plenty of minerals. You can use them for drops to do some nice harass. There's a lot of cool utensils you can do. Now, as you're doing this Hellbat type harassment, and you know you're ahead because you built a third CC, you've contained them early with the Reapers and Widow Mines, so their third base is late. Now what's the problem? You got amazing economy. They can't take a fast third because it's really hard for Zerg to take a fast third against Reaper openings. It's really hard. So all you have to do is just not die, and you're going to be so far ahead economically because of your triple orbitals. So the key to not dying is to have a very good base setup. Of course, as Zerg says, I'm behind. I've got to go kill him with roaches, or else I just get more and more behind. Once he gets too many tanks out, I'll be in trouble. So just make yourself a really nice base setup. You have a full compartment of units here, and when your opponent tries to come in, they see what you have. We can see here his opponent had to GG. Why did he have to GG? Well, let's see what his opponent saw here. If you just fast forward back to the end, we can see at this point, this is what he saw. He saw exactly the worst thing a Zerg can ever see if they're faced with a situation where they have to do damage to their opponent, right? This thing's not working. All right, so he sees one tank here, two tanks here, and he sees Hellbats, and he saw a Widow Mine popped up to shoot his guys as well. So it's in a situation where he's like, okay, his tanks are too far back from the edge for roaches to shoot him. I can't break that. And then if I look at my unit stats here, you know, I'm way behind in economy because, you know, I've got less workers than him. I can cover that gap pretty quickly. He's got triple orbitals. He's got factories being produced. He's got Hellbats on the field. His defense is solid. I'm basically in trouble. So make sure that if you want to defend any early ground-based aggression from the Zerg, the key to do that is tank positioning. Again, we'll bring that back up, that thing here. You got to position them where their max range is ideally right around this zone, because that's where the units will bunch up. You want your first tank shots to hit their units as they bunch up, and this will be your kill zone. Now, that's good because units bunch up, so you're going up the ramp, so you get splash damage, and it's also good because a roach here, right, they can shoot units about in this radius. So this area, don't put anything in that radius right there, because this is the kill zone for them, right? So you want to really avoid that area, and you want to make sure that this zone is the area where you can kill guys. It's basically that simple. Proper placement of tanks means Zerg can't touch you early game. They can't touch you early game, and you took a faster third than them, you're going to be significantly ahead as the game goes on, especially if you dealt some damage with those Hellbat drops. So we're going to take a short break. Be right back with game number 3.